Hi, I'm Nick with SmithForgedsc Strength and Conditioning. I'm here with Corey Salas, and we're going to go over a basic hip flexor stretch. The reason why I'm implementing this stretch for a lot of athletes, or just even anybody, is we tend to be very, we call kind of quad dominant. So the positions that we're in, sitting a lot, driving, a lot of us have long commutes to our jobs, then we're at our jobs and we're sitting even longer. So oftentimes these muscles in the front, like our rectus femoris, which is one of our quadriceps, and our iliopsoas oftentimes get very, very tight. Now, this isn't the case for everybody, but this is kind of like just a general exercise that we can just do to kind of help our hips be a little bit more mobile. In Corey's case, he happens to be pretty tight, and this is something that we've worked on before, and this is just a stretch that I like to give him. There's a couple different ways to do this, but this can be implemented basically anywhere on the floor. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to stretch this left side right now. So I'm going to have him bring his right leg up in what we call a half kneel position. Okay, so what we're looking for when we're doing this is we're trying to stretch this anterior portion or the front. And so what I look for before we do the stretch is making sure that Corey is lined up nice, his hips are right underneath his shoulders. So typically what we want to see is, when we're doing this stretch, we see people kind of lunge forward, and as you can see here, there's a lot of extension in our back, which we already know he moves well on his back. We want to stretch this out. So what I kind of do to preemptively bias Corey to make sure that he does the right stretch and he's stretching what he needs to is I almost have him bring his chest forward a little bit. By doing so, I then cue him and I tell him to either tuck his tailbone underneath him, or I tell him to kind of turn on his glutes. So what I have him do is when I say tuck your tailbone, you're putting your pelvis into a posterior pelvic tilt. So if I tell him to tuck his tailbone, he then begins to feel a stretch through this area. So, and by doing so, he is turning on his glute muscles at the same time, which is good. So from here, research kind of shows anywhere between a 30 to a 45 second hold is ideal to make change. So anytime you find yourself sitting for a long period of time, this is a good stretch that you can do periodically throughout your day when things are getting tight. After you're doing your squats, you're running, any type of activity, this is something you do, and you can do it on both sides. So this is one way to do this stretch, and I'll have another video later on how to do it in standing and a different way to do it as part of your dynamic warm-up to kind of get this hip a little bit more mobile. Thank you. See you next time.